Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, we're embarking on a truly captivating journey, a deep dive into the heart of London, exploring its transformation and the stories etched into its very foundations. We're not just looking at dates and events, we're going to feel the pulse of this incredible city as it evolved from a medieval hub to a burgeoning global metropolis. Our adventure spans from the early 15th century, a time of significant change and burgeoning artistic expression, all the way through to the early 18th century, a period marked by immense growth, intellectual ferment, and the dawn of a new era. Imagine London in the year 1413. It was a city of contrasts, a place where ancient Roman walls still stood, whispering tales of a distant past, while new timber-framed buildings rose, their jettied upper floors almost touching in narrow, winding streets. The River Thames, the lifeblood of the city, was a bustling highway, crowded with barges, wherries, and the occasional grand royal vessel. Westminster, with its magnificent abbey and palace, was the seat of power, while the City of London, enclosed by its walls, was the vibrant commercial engine. This was a London shaped by its medieval past, a place where guilds held immense sway, dictating trade and craftsmanship, and where the rhythm of life was dictated by the church bells and the changing seasons. As we move into the 15th century, London was experiencing a period of relative stability after the turbulence of the Wars of the Roses. This stability fostered a flourishing of arts and culture. The patronage of wealthy merchants and the royal court led to the construction of impressive buildings and the creation of exquisite artworks. Think of the intricate carvings, the stained glass windows, and the illuminated manuscripts that were being produced. The city was a magnet for talent, drawing artists, scholars, and artisans from across England and beyond. It was a time when the foundations of English literature were being laid, with figures like Geoffrey Chaucer, though his most prolific period was slightly earlier, still resonating through the literary landscape. The language itself was evolving, becoming richer and more nuanced, a testament to the intellectual dynamism of the era. The Tudor period, beginning in the late 15th century and extending into the 17th, brought about seismic shifts. Henry VIII's break with Rome, for instance, had profound implications for London. Monasteries, which had been significant landowners and centers of learning, were dissolved, their lands redistributed, and their buildings repurposed or left to decay. This dramatically altered the physical and social fabric of the city. New institutions emerged, and the balance of power shifted. London became even more central to national life, a place where political intrigue and religious fervor played out on a grand stage. The Elizabethan era, from the latter half of the 16th century, is often seen as a golden age for London. This was a period of exploration, expansion, and unparalleled theatrical achievement. Shakespeare, Marlowe, and Jonson walked its streets, their words echoing in the newly built playhouses. Like the Globe, the city was growing rapidly, its population swelling with people drawn by opportunity and the promise of a better life. New industries were emerging, and trade routes were expanding, bringing exotic goods and new ideas to its shores. The docks were a hive of activity, with ships arriving from all corners of the known world, laden with spices, silks, and other treasures. This was a London that was increasingly outward-looking, a city that was beginning to assert its influence on the global stage. The early 17th century saw London continue its trajectory of growth and change. The Stuart monarchs, James I and Charles I, presided over a period of significant architectural development. Inigo Jones, a visionary architect, introduced classical styles, transforming the cityscape with elegant palaces and grand public buildings. The city was becoming more sophisticated, with a growing appreciation for art, music, and intellectual discourse. Coffee houses began to appear, becoming vibrant centers for conversation, debate, and the exchange of news. These were places where ideas were born, and where the intellectual currents of the age were shaped. However, this period was not without its challenges. The English Civil War, which erupted in the mid-17th century, had a profound impact on London. The city, largely parliamentarian, became a focal point of the conflict, Fortifications were erected, and the streets, usually bustling with commerce, were filled with the sounds of military preparations. The execution of Charles I in 1649 was a watershed moment, a dramatic assertion of parliamentary power that sent shockwaves across Europe. The Restoration period, following the return of the monarchy in 1660, brought a sense of renewed optimism and a surge of creativity. London, under Charles II, became a center of pleasure and artistic innovation. The theaters reopened, and a new wave of playwrights and actors emerged. The city also experienced a period of significant rebuilding and modernization. However, this optimism was soon tested by two devastating events: the Great Plague of 1665 and the Great Fire of 1666. The Great Plague was a horrific ordeal. It swept through the densely populated streets, claiming tens of thousands of lives. The fear and despair were palpable, and the city was brought to its knees. The memory of the plague lingered for generations, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the vulnerability of urban populations. Then came the Great Fire, in September 1666. A small spark in a baker's shop on Pudding Lane ignited a conflagration that raged for days, consuming much of the medieval city. St. Paul's Cathedral, a magnificent Gothic masterpiece, was reduced to ruins. Thousands of homes and businesses were destroyed, leaving a vast swath of the city in ashes. It was a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions, a moment of profound loss and devastation. Yet, from the ashes of the Great Fire, a new London began to rise. This was a pivotal moment, an opportunity to rebuild the city on a grander, more organized scale. Sir Christopher Wren, a brilliant architect, was instrumental in this rebuilding effort. He designed a new St. Paul's Cathedral, a Baroque masterpiece that still dominates the skyline today. He also laid out plans for wider streets and more resilient buildings, incorporating fire-resistant materials. This rebuilding process was not just about physical reconstruction. It was about reimagining London, about creating a city that was safer, more efficient, and more beautiful. The late 17th and early 18th centuries witnessed the emergence of London as a truly global financial and commercial center, the establishment of the Bank of England in 1694, and the growth of institutions like Lloyd's of London, which began as a coffee house and evolved into a leading insurance market, were crucial developments. These institutions provided the financial infrastructure that fueled London's expansion and its growing international reach. The city was becoming a hub for trade, finance, and information, attracting merchants, bankers, and entrepreneurs from all over the world. This was also a period of significant intellectual and scientific advancement. The Royal Society, founded in 1660, fostered a spirit of inquiry and discovery. Figures like Isaac Newton, whose groundbreaking work in physics and mathematics revolutionized our understanding of the universe, were active in London. The city was a melting pot of ideas, a place where scientific theories were debated, artistic movements were born, and political philosophies were forged. The coffee houses, which had become so popular in the previous century, continued to thrive, serving as vital centers for social and intellectual exchange. They were places where news was shared, where business deals were struck, and where the latest pamphlets and publications were discussed. This vibrant public sphere played a crucial role in shaping public opinion and influencing the direction of the nation. As we approach the year 1728, London was a city transformed. The narrow, medieval streets had given way to wider avenues and grand squares. The skyline was punctuated by magnificent churches and public buildings. The Thames, though still a working river, was increasingly lined with elegant warehouses and grand residences. The city was a hub of activity, a place of immense opportunity and vibrant culture. It was a city that had weathered plagues and fires, wars and revolutions, and had emerged stronger and more resilient. The period between 1413 and 1728 was not just a succession of events. It was a dynamic process of growth, adaptation, and reinvention. London, throughout these centuries, demonstrated an extraordinary capacity to evolve. It was a city that embraced change, that learned from its challenges, and that consistently looked towards the future. From its medieval roots to its burgeoning status as a global powerhouse, London's story is one of enduring spirit, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to progress. It's truly remarkable to consider how much this city has changed, and yet, how much of its historical essence still resonates today. The echoes of these centuries are present in its architecture, its institutions, and the very spirit of its people. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of London's fascinating past. I hope you found it as inspiring as I did. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please consider following for more explorations of captivating places and stories. Welcome. Ever wondered what makes a London park truly special? It's more than just green space. It's a vibrant tapestry woven with history, nature, and the pulse of the city. Imagine stepping away from the bustling streets and finding yourself in a tranquil oasis, a place where you can reconnect with yourself and the world around you. Think about the sheer diversity of these urban sanctuaries, from the grand, manicured lawns perfect for a leisurely picnic to the wilder, more naturalistic corners that invite exploration. Each park offers a unique experience. You might stumble upon a hidden garden bursting with seasonal blooms, or perhaps a serene lake reflecting the sky, complete with playful waterfowl. These spaces are living, breathing entities, constantly evolving with the seasons and the people who cherish them. Beyond the visual beauty, there's a profound sense of community that blossoms in our parks. You'll see families laughing, friends catching up, and individuals finding moments of quiet contemplation. They are democratic spaces, open to everyone, fostering a shared appreciation for nature's restorative power. Whether you're seeking a brisk walk to clear your head, a peaceful spot to read a book, or simply a breath of fresh air, London's parks are ready to welcome you. They are invaluable resources, offering a vital escape and a reminder of the simple joys that enrich our lives. Thank you for joining us on this little exploration. We hope it inspires you to discover your own favorite corner of London's incredible parkland.